What's up guys, today we're going to be showing you how to install a rear Rhino 2.0 axle on this Polaris RZR Pro R. So let's get right to it. First thing we're going to do is remove our wheel and tire. Then we're going to grab our 30mm socket for our axle nut. Remove the axle nut. Now we're going to remove our upper radius arm bolt. Once we have the nut removed, what we'll do is grab a hold of the bottom of the trailing arm, pick up, wiggle around, bolt comes right out, and I always like to just take my hardware, put it right back where it came from. We'll come down here to our lower radius arm bolt. Same deal there. Get the nut removed. Pick up on the trolley. Pick up, wiggle around. Drop your radius arm out the bottom. Grab your nut. Put it on your hardware. Let your radius arms hang down out of the way. Now we're going to remove our brake caliper hardware. Remove our caliper. We're just going to let it hang. Totally acceptable. It has a braided steel line. Grab your rotor. Now we're going to remove our hardware securing our knuckle to our trailing arm. And we're going to remove the hardware from the top and bottom. So now we're just going to pull out on our trailing arm, get it slid back out of the way enough to pull the axle out. And we're going to plunge in with our axle and then pull straight back to remove it from the rear differential. Just like so. Now we're going to apply just a little bit of anti-seize on the splines of this axle. That way over time it doesn't get corroded and get stuck in this rear differential. We're just going to line it up. Make sure it's fully seated. We're going to remove the castle nut off of our axle. Sit it aside for a moment here. We're going to pull straight out. Start to get our rear bearing carrier lined back up of how it needs to go. And as we start sliding everything back together, we just want to make sure that our axle slides into our knuckle. I like to use my bolts just to make sure that my bushing's aligned correctly. That way everything slides back together. get the lower one lined up. And rotate in to get the upper lined up as well. Once everything's lined up, I'm gonna take our hardware, slide it back through. Again, just make sure everything lines up. Slide the hardware through, start your nuts, and then we can fully tighten our 2 bolts that we just installed. So now we're going to take our lower radius arm, pull out on the trailing arm, enough to get slid back up into place. You may have to kind of wiggle around on the bushings to get it slid to where you can get your bolt through. So now we're just going to line our radius arm up, get our bolt slid through. So now we're just going to line our radius arm up, get our bolt slid through, go to the back side and get the nut started. Now we're going to get our upper radius arm, same deal. Get it slid in position. Get your nut started. And then we will go ahead and fully tighten our radius arm hardware. Yep. Once your radius arm hardware is fully tightened, go ahead and grab your castle nut. Once your radius arm hardware is tight, go ahead and grab your castle nut. Install it to the threads of your axle. You'll also want to grab your cotter pin. So whenever you tighten your axle nut up, you want it to line up with a hole. That way we can install the cotter pin. So just like that. You got a hole that's lined up. So as you can see, we put our cotter pin in and bent it away from itself. Now we're going to grab our rotor and our brake caliper hardware. Now we're going to install our brake rotor. Grab your brake caliper. Line it up on the rotor. We're going to take our hardware and reinstall it. Once your hardware is started, you're going to go ahead and fully tighten it. Now we're going to reinstall our wheel. Now we're going to fully tighten our lug nuts. So we've got our axle all installed on our passenger side. The driver's side installation and removal is exactly the same. So once you've got all your hardware fully tightened, wheel and tire reinstalled, that's all there is to it to install a rear Rhino 2.0 axle on a Polaris RZR Pro R. Be sure to check the description below to pick yours up today, and while you're there, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.